This video includes five ingredient meal ideas that are super easy to make, really comforting, and they taste like you put in a lot more effort than you actually did. Now, in order to make these recipes with the 5 ingredient rule happen, I had to not count the following things: tap water, vegetable oil, and salt. Also, I will be at times mentioning additional optional toppings. Yeah, and just give you more ways to spice up these meals even more if you feel like it. Thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video. Up first is one of my current favorite quick breakfast toasts. Bring a medium skillet with a bit of olive oil to medium heat. As it is heating up, cut up some onion, can be roughly chopped or super finely chopped, whatever you feel like. Saute the onion for about 5 minutes. Meanwhile, cut up some fresh tomatoes. 1 or 2 big ones should do. Add that to the pan, together with some kimchi and salt. And then give this another 5 to 10 minutes over medium. Sometimes I like to add a lid. In this case, this was not possible. But if it gets too dry, maybe add a splash of water along the way. In the meantime, I'm cutting up some fresh bread. This loaf is so beautiful. For the base of the bread, I like to go with hummus. You could also do some vegan cream cheese. That could work. Or any other sort of plant-based sunflower seeds bread maybe. Yeah, then just finish everything off with the tomato kimchi topping. Last but not least, mainly for visual food photography reasons, I'm adding some fresh basil and sesame seeds. I try to be fancy here eating this with a knife and a fork, but it's best to just bite into it. Moving on to this cozy and nourishing tofu coconut bowl. Love this one. Bring a non-stick skillet with a bit of oil to medium high. Cut up some firm tofu. Transfer the pieces to a bowl. Add flour, some salt, and then mix everything thoroughly. Pan fry the chunks until golden brown for about 7 minutes, mixing every few. Once the tofu has crisped up nicely, you add some vegan kimchi. Add coconut milk, a little bit more salt. You bring everything up to a simmer, then allow this to cook over medium for about 5 minutes. Optionally, add in some spinach or, I don't know, fresh cilantro, fresh basil. You might also want to add a bit more water to thin it out if necessary. Feel free to squeeze some lime or lemon juice on top, but yeah, again, that is optional too. Next are these super simple gochujang sweet potato tacos. First, to a small to medium bowl, add gochujang, which you can substitute with either sriracha, or if you don't like spiciness at all, then go for tomato paste. Then add vegetable oil, vinegar, I'm using rice vinegar, and salt. Also a bit of water to adjust the consistency, and mix it up. Preheat the oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Grab a large sweet potato, feel free to peel it, you don't have to, and then cut it into small cubes like so. Transfer those to your baking tray. Feel free to line it with parchment paper, I didn't do that. But yeah, then add your sauce and thoroughly mix it in using your hands. Yeah, it might be a bit messy. Allow the sweet potato to bake for around 30 minutes or until baked through and slightly caramelized. For serving, I'm using these corn tortillas here, and I'm toasting them up in a bit of oil for about 2 minutes on each side to create these crispy taco shells. Fill them with whatever you prefer. I'm adding some vegan sour cream here. You could also do vegan cream cheese or hummus, topping that with spicy potato chunks. And then here are some optional toppings. We've got some spring onions and sesame seeds. Some pickled onions would be really good. Some cherry tomatoes. There's endless options. Enjoy! Up next is this soy crumble rice bowl. It's high in protein, super simple. I think the gym bros would love this one. First, make sure you have some sticky rice cooking in the background. Grab a medium bowl and add dried soy crumbles. Then add either salt or half of a crumbled up vegetable broth cube. Add boiling water until the crumbles are just covered and let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes. Grab a nonstick skillet, add a bit of oil, and turn this to medium-high. Make sure that the water has been soaked up completely by the soy crumbles. If not, get rid of any excess liquid before adding this to the hot oil. Allow everything to cook for about 6 to 8 minutes, stirring here and there. And then once it's gotten a little bit of color, add soy sauce and a splash of wine. If you don't want to use wine, then use balsamic vinegar. In the background, I'm chopping up some spinach. This is an optional ingredient, but recommended. Also adding a splash of water and then giving everything another 2 to 3 minutes. And there you go. Now I like to serve this atop of the rice together with some vegan chili mayo. If you don't have the mayo available, you could also go for some thinned out hummus. It's a bit of a healthier alternative. And then some more optional toppings include some sesame seeds, of course, and some of these roasted seaweed snacks. I love creating little wraps here. But yeah, enjoy. The final recipe for today would be for these caramelized onion, lemon, and coconut noodles that I adapted from a TikTok. I had to do quite a bit of tweaking to make it work for me and the rules that I've applied to this video. First, preheat the oven to 190 degrees Celsius. Grab 3 large onions and cut them into rings. Try to cut them as finely as possible. Transfer the onions to a casserole dish together with some vegetable oil, which can very well be the oil from a jar of sun-dried tomatoes. Also add some salt, give that a good mix. Cover everything with a sheet of aluminum foil and then put this into the oven for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, cut up the sun-dried tomatoes. Now, the original TikTok recipe tells you to just put everything into the tray all at once. However, that resulted in a lot of burned tomatoes. Maybe that was just my oven acting up, but to be on the safe side, I would suggest you add the sun-dried tomato chunks after the onions have been in the oven for 30 minutes already. So I'm doing that now. Then I'm putting everything back into the oven for another 30 to 45 minutes. Now all that's left to do is add some lemon zest, lemon juice, coconut milk, and salt. And of course, don't forget to add in the pasta. I went for udon noodles, which they look a lot like linguine though. If you're not a big fan of coconut milk, don't use coconut milk. Go for soy or oat cream instead. Optionally, I'm adding some spinach here, some sesame seeds. Taste test, add salt and pepper to your liking, and enjoy. For dinner that night, me and my friends had the pasta next to the rice soy dish that we saw earlier. This video was brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform designed to help you build and grow your online brand and business. Start by creating a new website. Simply choose one of their many beautifully designed website templates, or start from scratch with a blank slate page, if that's what you prefer. Also use Squarespace to create a fitting new logo and put together a matching newsletter to get your message and products out there and to keep your followers and clients up to date. If you need any extra help, don't hesitate to ask their 24/7 award-winning customer service. Get started today. Simply go to squarespace.com/MinaRome and use the offer code MinaRome to get 10% off your first purchase of a new site or domain.